Welcome back to the Captain's Quarters. This is your Captain Bruno Wetbeard, and when I'm putting in a playlist like that for you, I can see why the Captain's Quarters is a pretty popular place to be. Who wouldn't want to be there when you got those kind of tracks hitting you? We are going to jump into the news and just a bit of admin. I'm just going to call it the news. I was originally saying I was going to come up with a cool name for it. Haven't been able to, and I'm not going to try at this point. It's the news. So there's that part. Also, we're going to do the news a bit differently this time. News in this segment, and we'll do the sport and entertainment a bit later on. So just in case you get a bit confused about what's going on here. On to the news, and in Australia, pretty big story going on. A fella named Desi Freeman. He's a sovereign citizen. So his actual name isn't Desi Freeman, or his birth name wasn't that. He changed his last name to Freeman as in like free man, because he's not beholden to the government, because he doesn't believe he has a contract with the government or some fake legal nonsense going on. I think sovereign citizens, they're kind of like an extreme version of libertarians, the people who don't think you should pay tax and that somehow society will just function, roads will get built and stuff like that and it'll just work somehow. But yeah, sovereign citizens a bit cooked. But back to Desi Freeman, some cops showed up to his house to execute a warrant on him. I believe it was some kind of sex crime, potentially involving children, so a bit of pedo action potentially. And he just came out blasting. He killed 2 cops, including one of them who it was their last week before retirement. Fucking bad luck on that one, mate. But all murder is bad, so the other guy that got killed also really sucks for him. I think a third person also got shot. But they seem like they're going to survive. But yeah, Desi went bush and cops are still searching for him. I think we're 5 days on from the initial incident at this point, and he is still on the run. Just wild stuff going on there. His wife and I think it was his son, they were arrested. So apparently they helped him in the early stages of him fleeing. But yeah, hopefully he gets got in whatever way that is. But it must be miserable for him out there because it is cold and wet here in Victoria at the moment. So hopefully he's quite uncomfortable if he hasn't already done himself in. We'll get into our usual Trump conversation as well. So the fascism continues in America as Trump has rolled out the National Guard just into cities he doesn't like, from what I can tell. So Washington and Chicago, I think it was. There weren't any incidents that caused this decision to be made, and there is not an ongoing crisis or anything. He's just sending them out there saying that they're going to solve crime or something. So some nice military police type situations going on there. So good luck, America. I do hope you can find a way to sort this shit out, because it's only been about 9 months since Trump started his second term, and it's a 4-year term. So not looking good for you. But we're going to talk more about the Jeffrey Epstein ties to Trump that kind of were a bit more of a topic about a month ago when I first started putting this episode together. But for those of you who aren't aware, Jeffrey Epstein, he's that guy that died while he was in custody for, he was accused of sex trafficking women, including underage girls. So a lot of conspiracies about this whole situation. Obviously, the big one is, did he do a self-murder, or was he murdered by the powerful people that were using his, pedo services that he offered to these powerful people, apparently. So that's one of them. And then obviously all the speculation just about who were his clients, like who were on the Epstein list, as it's been called. So Trump did promise that he would release that Epstein list, and he just never did. They made a big show of it early on in his presidency with people walking out of a building carrying boxes, I think, or folders that said Epstein files on them. Now we're being told that there aren't any files. So that's only going to fuel speculation on conspiracies and things like that. It's not hard to find photos of Trump and Epstein hanging out when Epstein was alive. It's been reported that the first time Trump had sex with his current wife, Melania, that it was on Epstein's plane. And apparently Trump was on that plane quite a bit. Epstein, in an interview before he died, did say that he was Trump's best mate for a decade. And there is a quote from an article years ago now, Trump talking about Epstein, and I'll read the quote out. So it's, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. He's a great guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. In fact, I'm told he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and most of them are young. There is no doubt that Jeffrey enjoys his social life." So that's a bit of context just around this Trump-Epstein stuff, and I guess their relationship or their interactions. But yeah, so reporters started hitting Trump up about all of this Epstein stuff again, putting a bit of the hard word on him. Probably not hard enough, to be honest, but some of the questions were about Virginia Giuffre. She was an accuser of Epstein, part of why he had been charged. She'd been a loud advocate seeking justice there, and unfortunately she did end her life earlier this year in 2025, back in April. The reason Trump was being asked about her was she had been working at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, I believe, when she was a teenager, so about 17, before she was trafficked by Epstein. So, yeah, I've got a couple responses Trump gave when questioned on, I guess, how or why these women who had worked for him ended up mixed up with all the Epstein stuff. This first clip is more of a broad response just to the fact that multiple of his female staff were taken by Epstein.
He took people, and because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore. You know, they work for me. And he took, beyond that, he took some others. And once he did that, that was the end of him. I didn't like, when they steal people, I don't like it.
Quite strange language to use is my analysis on that one. Saying that they were stolen implies some kind of criminal stuff happening, but then Trump just gives him a stern warning not to do it, and then, yeah, that's about as far as that goes. So I'm hoping, Trump didn't know that they were taken for sex trafficking reasons, but just very strange. It is also really disappointing what a poor effort the media does in really following up on these kind of questions, because, mate, don't know about you, but I have quite a lot of pretty firm questions to ask him. And I guess in their defense, he just wouldn't answer them. He'd just keep being a wild man. So we'll jump into the next response he gives. This one is more of a direct question specifically about Virginia Giuffre.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her, And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know, whatsoever.
Trump is so weird. Obviously, there he did have to mention that she didn't have any complaints about working at Mar-a-Lago. He did get some follow-up questions on another day about this interaction. So I'll put you through to this clip as well.
But also, the family of Virginia Giuffre released a statement overnight in response to some of the comments that you made this week. You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing, I didn't like it. And we threw him out. We said, we don't want him, at the place. This is a story that's been known for many years, as you know. But it's, I didn't like it that he was doing that.
Someone else to consider in this scenario is Jeffrey Epstein's right-hand woman. Unlike Epstein, she didn't die. She was actually convicted of sex trafficking and is currently in prison. But because of all of this pressure on Trump about the Epstein files and how he ties into all of this stuff, there was a lot of speculation as to whether he might offer her a pardon so that she'd just say that he was all cool and didn't do anything wrong. Since this has all started, she has been moved into a lower security prison and has in fact said that Trump did nothing wrong. So, maybe it's just a coincidence. We'll just never know, I guess. I do have another clip just in regards to Ghislaine Maxwell. This is from 5 years ago, so it was while Trump was president the first time. And this is his response when asked about convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Mr. President.
That does bring the news to an end for this episode. It was filled with some pretty yuck content. We're going to jump into some metal now, and hopefully that does get your mind onto cooler topics and more enjoyable things in the world. But before I do let you listen to any songs, I got one last Trump clip. Not news related, just some yuck stuff that he talks about.
I had a case, it was very interesting. A beautiful girl who was 17 or 18 applied to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked a question about the actors. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, "Well, Mr. Trump, she has no experience." So I interviewed her anyway, because she was so pretty. And I said, "Let me ask you, do you have any experience?" She goes, "No, sir." I said, "When can you start?" You can work at my plant anytime. Yeah. She worked at my plant. That's like a death wish for me, right? That's like an alcoholic. I have many friends that are wonderful people. They're alcoholics. You put scotch in front of them. It's like, this would be my form of alcoholism.